Hi everyone. So before starting this video, I would like to point out that there will be live animals going into this setup. However, this is not by any means meant to be their permanent home. Think of this as sort of a mini decorative travel case, because I gave them away to somebody who wanted to start out their very first shrimp tank, and I figured what's the best way to help them travel stress-free than by having them travel in a mini replica of their own home. Now with that said and done, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Here we have a tiny plastic container. Now, much like any build, we will start by adding in the substrate. And for that, today I will be using some volcanic soil. Now, since this container is so small, I will have to take some of these pellets and crush them up by hand, turning them into small bits of dirt. Once I've collected enough, I will then begin to carefully add in the water. I try adding it in about one drop at a time so that way I don't stir up any of the soil on the bottom. But as you can see, the water still ended up being a bit murky, but this is normal when using volcanic soil. Now let's put this to the side and allow the water to settle, while I show you what it is that we will be using for decoration. Here we have some tiny bits of lava rock, this little dragonstone structure that I made using some cotton ball and super glue, small bits of waterlogged driftwood, an Eliocaris clipping, and a bit of dried up java moss. Now to move these extra bits out of the way, because this java moss we will be using to glue onto our little dragonstone structure right here. I went about that by adding some glue to the end of a thumbtack and using that to apply it to one part of the stone. Then using some small tweezers, I applied the java moss onto the glue and held it there firmly in place until it fully dried. And now to repeat the same process on different areas of the stone. I'd say that's looking pretty good. Now that I've let the water sit for a bit, I will be taking some of it out using a folded up piece of napkin. This will allow me to add the decorations without it overflowing and also absorbing any of the small particles that didn't want to float to the bottom. With most of the water out, I can now begin to start adding in the decorations. Now to add in some more water and give it time to clear up on its own. After about an hour, it is now clear and we can begin to add in our little shrimps. These are some baby red cherry shrimps that I got out of my little shrimp nursery. These guys are about 2 weeks old, but as you can see, they're still very tiny. They may look a bit dull right now, but they will begin to show more color as they grow. Also, something I'd like to point out, the water that the shrimps are in and the water that goes into the container is aged water that came out of my little shrimp tank. Like I said before, I want to mimic their original enclosure as much as possible. But not only that, shrimps will die if they are not properly acclimated to the water. And there we have it, everybody. Our tiny shrimp aquarium / travel case is now finished. And these little fellas are ready to go to their new home. These containers do have a lid, but I decided to let it off so that you can get a good look inside. And that concludes today's build. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more future animal related content. And as always, this has been Reptile and More, and I will see you guys on the next one.